we will begin serving refreshments to you at your seats. So you can stay in your seats and help yourself to the nuts and the mints while we're doing this portion of our show. The 1980s and 1990s portion of the show will be given by Auxter, the owner and manager of A Tire for Hire. I'd like to introduce to you now our commentator and fashion history expert in Seville, Drogell.
Thank you very much. Can everybody hear me? Okay. Our first model is by Donna, and Donna is modeling a buckskin dress that is of the Indian design from the year 1816. Everything is she both coming together? Okay. She and her husband both, Carl and Donna, are coming and they're fashioning the Indians and the frontier dress. Donna's dress is of deerskin, as is Carl's pants. And Carl gave me a lesson in history yesterday, and I wanted to comment on it. He even had to use what he said he had taught me. Those fringes aren't decoration. Those are used. And he had used one during the parade today. Something broke down the Carl, am I right? Oh, the numbers on your jacket. So that's what they did in those days too. And his rifle, everything he's wearing is the authentic frontier dress. He belongs to the group of men who get out to Killabuk. And his wife was dressed in the Indian design the same period of time. He told me this morning that that thing hanging from his side looks like a woman's pocketbook. They called that a possible bag because anything that was impossible, they reached in there and made it possible. It's got his ammunition and everything else in there. Clean his gun and everything. Thank you very much. Our outfit number 3 is contributed by Kate Dempsey, and it is a frontier dress. It's a little fancy for the 1816s in Ohio because the lace didn't come except by stagecoach in the early days, and it was a lucky woman that had lace on her frontier dress. They were very plain, usually no decoration says that this dress came from her great-great-grandmother Ruth. They have a picture at home showing great-great-grandmother in this dress. We weren't too sure what kind of material that was because it's got a type of insertion lace that I'm not too familiar with. Does anyone know what that material is? Looks a bit like muslin, but I'm not sure. But anyway, that is from the year 1860. But I want to put it in now to show you. You see the style again? Here's the early frontier. With that little frontal bottom, that came from 1816. And then these insertion cups in here. Those were put in by machine. But great-great-great-grandmother, her grandmother, put them in by hand. So you can see the work that used to go into a dress in those days. Beautiful. Thank you, Sue. Now, where are we here? Okay. We have outfit Laura Kalmeyer. Am I right? All right. And this is contributed by Wava Brown. And it's an 1862 wedding dress. And the hat was worn by Wava's grandmother, Esther Wolfe Chrisley. Am I pronouncing that right? Chrisley? Okay. And it has a camisole. You can show us how the camisole, right underneath there is a camisole. And they're back in style again. Our young girls are wearing camisole. Petticoat, you want to lift your gown a little bit here? You notice that petticoat I had on a while ago? Now this is when it came into style. See the insertion lace? Now that was very, very, very particular because it used to be made by hand. Then the machines came in, and then it became very prevalent. Thank you very much. Amy Kalmeyer, and the contributor is Sancho Lance, and it's a late 18 or early 1900 dress. Sancho's grandmother's was in her trousseau, made of organdy with a sash and a choker. And those chokers were in style during the flapper era. So here we go, changing, picking up from the past, using it in the present and in the future. The taffeta lace shawl, did you wear one, Emma? All right, that's all right. We'll get that thing. Now we have a model by Sue Hewitt. No? Sorry, Debbie. All right, Amanda Naoma, and her daughter. No, who is this? This is Olivia. This is Amanda. She is modeling for the first time, so she may not look at it. These are the night shirts here that were worn during the 1890s. We weren't too sure about whether that nightgown went on front or back, so we put it there and pinned it, and it won't stay. So the night shirts had a pin tucking, and they were machine sewn. The early frontiers had tucking, pin tucking, but it was all done by hand. All right, thank you very much, Eva. The next model is Cindy Naomo. Got it right. It's contributed by Norman Detweiler, and this dress is a gilded caboose. It's a white afternoon dress, and that is manufactured lace now. bonnet and the, is trimmed in lace, but I don't believe is that crochet?
Yes.
It's crochet, okay. And it goes down, right down like a, flapper era. They pull that down over their ears. So again, we're picking up history and going forward with it. We're taking a little afternoon cap of a child and putting it in the styles of a flapper era. Now your nightgown, yes, of course, you turn around. See how the ribbon runs around your neck? That's all done by machine too. It used to be done by hand. Anything that had buttonhole in it, that was done by hand. And then the insertion lace was hand crocheted. The bonnet was worn at bedtime, and they used all different kinds of decoration on their night hats. They used lace. Sometimes they had gathered ribbon in them, and they later would use those nightcaps to cover their wigs. They took it from the 1775s, brought it into the 1800s, and wore the hat at night, where they used to wear it in the morning to cover their wigs or their hairdos. So again, the style kept changing, and we'd be on full circle with some style. Thank you very much.
This is my grandfather's night shirt.
I'm sorry.
This is my grandfather's night shirt.
That's it. Think of the time they spent on those by putting in the decoration on. Oh, here you are. There she is. Okay, going back, this is again the early frontier. This is when they decided that they were going to have an overskirt over the frontier style. They were going to get fancy with ribbons. The stagecoaches were going through, and they were pulling all those ribbons through. The pocket was called in from the 1775. They crocheted a lot of those handbags. They lined them with the material that matched their dresses. And also, that overskirt would be pulled back in the 1870s after the Civil War and bundled up in the back, and there would be the bustle. And all those fancy dresses that you saw in those magazines was taken from the very early 1800s and late 1775s. Thank you, Donna. Now, what do we have next? I've lost myself. All right, Ellen, where are you? Number what? Number 8. 10? All right, here we go. Here we go. Ellen Knapp and her outfit was contributed by Don Rock, and the leg of mutton sleeves. You see where they got the name? Took the leg of the lamb, copied it, and made sleeve pattern. The choker neck is used early then with decoration, and they're very slim. They lost the petticoats then. The houses had pot-belly stoves. It wasn't so cold. You could do away with all these petticoats. They began to see what a woman really looked like. They didn't have to have all those petticoats underneath. All right, that was the 1900s. Put your hat on, Helen. Model a hat. Oh, yes. This is when the offices opened up, and ladies began to use the early typewriter. And they were dressed in the like button blouses, white blouses, and black skirts. Thank you, Helen. Now, number 11. We have Laura Jackson. This is a dress that was contributed. This dress, if anyone recognizes it, please, I've had that in my attic for 25 years, it seems, and I don't know who it belongs to. If it's in the 1900s, and it's another afternoon dress, and this too has the commercial lace. Note, a lot of them had that pinpoint diamond peak in it, and it has the skirt has the different links on it, and it again is showing for the first time in the out of the house a dress that's form fitting. Thank you, dear. And we have the peak going out in front, the insertion lace, and all of those small tucks in the back. Turn around here, even the tucks in the back. That is beautiful. Thank you very much. That dress was, if anyone remembers, Carrie Lee's daughter. And they lived on Main Street where Hawkins lived. So that stayed around still for quite a while. We have Hollywood now with a child, Belinda, and contributor again is Wayne Brown. And its the year of history is 1909, and it was Belva Lee's wedding dress. It's white and lavender, handmade, not machine made, handmade insertion lace. And the little girl's dress is stitched on the machine. You want to turn around, honey, and see the back of your dress? Huh? There you go. Isn't that nice? That color came into being very, very popular in the 1900s with children. That little collar seemed like every little girl had to have that special collar. They used them later on as cap sleeves. Okay, thank you very much. We now have Cindy Naomo in a contribution from Esther Detweiler. Lacey, have I got that right? Lacey? Just say it, huh? Okay. And the year is she was married, her wedding dress, Stella Detweiler. Married to Sam Detweiler, December 26, 1915. That's was called Silk Great de Chine. Now that's a new one on me. And the trim is tatting. And it's made of silk in a buttonhole twist. The buttons, the covered buttons, those special buttons you see down the front there, they probably came from Servo Bug catalog. And it was probably the most expensive part of the dress. Because the dress only cost $10. The buttons probably cost the most. Thank you very much. Terry Reedy is wearing a dress that was my grandmother. My grandmother was a Quaker background, and that's the fanciest dress she ever owned. My mother was working in a glove factory in Columbus, Ohio, and when she came home on vacation, Grandma said, "Sissy, I want you to make me a new dress." She had that material ready, and she had the pattern, and it had that lace collar showing, and Mom said, "Mom, do you want that collar?" "Indeed I do," she said. So she wore a lace collar, first time in her life. She had a lace collar on her dress. The hat did not belong to Grandma, but that went into the period. I never saw Grandma in anything else but a black bonnet. But that's the kind of hats they wore in this day. Thank you very much, Terry. Now, Mary Evelyn Newcomer Buffington has on dress contributed by Norma Detweiler. This was Hilda Newcomer Cahoon's graduation dress and her shoes she wore. Now that's from 1918. And we thought our dresses were short. Isn't that unique though? For 1918 now that dress was that short because it was, they're creeping up there, aren't they? And the pocket in the front, that's different too. The dress having the white color was unique that year too. Yes, very beautiful dress. Thank you very much, Drea. Now our next outfit is Robin Niomo, and the contributor was Eva Arthur. The outfit is a 1918-1920 outfit. The black skirt's made of flax, the white blouse with bat buttons. It has a black hat. Now that was sort of the uniform of the early office girl. She went to work, she had long sleeve blouse on. Usually it was a leg button sleeve, not the wide sleeve. And that type of skirt. And the fur were made out of feed sacks. And those little groomer pants were commonly seen as the little dresses and little pantaloons that went with it. So that the little pantaloons showed beneath the outfit. Thank you very much. The outfit is part of it is from the year 1920, part of it is from the year going into the 1930s. It's a satin skirt, but the top part we believe was of the flapper era. And they cut it off, turned it under, they completely new outfit. The flapper era, of course, had the boa, and they wore those bands around their hair. You can remember the boys and the girls both wear those things around their head now. Okay, all of those beads and all of that lace were almost like an identification mark of that period in time. Anything that glistened, if you went under a chandelier and didn't have anything on the 1920 flapper area, you weren't in. It just simply wasn't done. No plain stuff. The girls wore those straps with the little thin spaghetti straps, and dresses went down mid-calf usually, but they usually had on little petticoats with it. When they were doing those can-can dances, they showed petticoat. So this is what they really wore. But you see the boa was about this big around, and they almost looked like they were choking themselves. That's what they wore during the 1920s, just before the market fell. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I didn't find you. Now we have Terry Reed. Now I don't have these right here. This is Bill. That's not one. That's the man. too, especially in a wedding gown. But it is a beautiful thing, beautiful dress. And I believe, is that organdy or is what type of material do you think that is? I really don't know. But anyway, it is beautiful. Thank you very much. That is different. Cindy Naomo is modeling an attire for hire contribution. She has a rose silk dress on with equine lace collar and cuffs. There's a lace insert And a hat was always necessary at that period in time, and gloves. A lady didn't go to church, she didn't go shopping, she didn't go anywhere unless she had gloves on. And her shoes go right along with it. Beautiful. Now, from this. Jimmy, this one. Here he comes. Now, this has a history. This is the band uniform of Norma's father, Homer Cahoon, of the early 1930s. He played tuba downtown in the bandstand where the library is now, and that's the band uniform. And there was no buttons like they are today that show in the sun. They were hidden. No buttons. The buttons are underneath the flat there. And the only buttons that you saw on that early band uniform was in the hat. I think that farm must have something. That's in very good shape for that type of an outfit. So, thank you very much, Jimmy. I think these young people do very well. Some of them. This is the first one. Now we have model. I don't have her name down. Amy, and she has a dress that was the wedding dress of Helen Shook. 1935, and they called this Depression material. That was during the Depression, right after the crash. We were just beginning to get our feet on the ground, and a woman who was married during those years, she had to have a dress she could wear someplace else besides just for that wedding. That material is unique too. It's called barcloth. I've never seen it done in a wedding dress. I don't know what barcloth is the original. I think it must be of flax material. It's very rough material, and it's trimmed in mink trim. Now today that would be expensive. Those days they had mink and they used it that way. And it has a cinch belt. Thank you very much. Amy, what's your last name? Kalmar. Amy Kalmar. Now, I reckon we get number 26. And this is Alicia Hershey. And she's modeling an outfit donated by Norma Detweiler in the mid-late 1930s. And this dress was worn by Norma when she was a child. I think she even had to wear those black stockings. And very nice, Alicia. Velvet was very much worn as a dress-up dress in the 1930s. We have the riding outfit, 1940. Now this was Big Bryson who donated this to our style show during the bicentennial. That outfit has been in my attic all these years, and every time I see B, I say, B, that outfit's still in my attic. I'm not taking that home, B. Are you here? She can take it home with her when she goes to church. Anyway, this in 1940, Medina County was well known for the horses, the stables. And this outfit was one of the outfits worn by those who were in a class for English equestrian riders. And they'd show up at the fair in their outfits, and this woman who wore this outfit wore an English side saddle. And when she lifted her leg to go over that horn, why the red would show on the skirt, and that would, the judges would catch the eye, and sometimes a ribbon might come that showing a little bit of the leg. But anyway, that's what the 1940 equestrian riders wore in Medina County. Thank you very much. This is Catherine Fowler, the Waterley outfit, by the way. Amy Colmeyer, do you have this outfit? No, you don't have it. I can't see you very well. There you go. Sydney Nyla, Beverly Archer, those studs were what were used in place of other decorations because you tried to have a dress that you would wear after the wedding. And that was the war dress. The 1946s. Okay, now we have Mildred Jarvis contributed a dress, a navy blue coat, and a dress worn by Beth Meadows. This is 1940. Look at the length of that. Look at the length between 1940 and 1946. We went clear to the knee in 1946, and we were mid-calf in 1940. And a full skirt, and that was, I believe they called that the princess line. And they wore, that's a satin top. And it had a panel skirt, and it had a buckle. What they used to stiffen draperies to hold that skirt out. Instead of using a Kremlin or anything, they used that buckle. That didn't look to be comfortable when you sat down, but anyway, that's what they did with it. All right, we have Mike and Hollywood modeling wedding attire contributed by Norma Duckwall. This was Norma and her husband's wedding outfits. Notice the length of the man's hands. They always had that, what we call the wrinkle in the cup. That was the style in 1948. That was the style of gown you had. The Kremlin petticoats were not prevalent in that era. They was still thinking in terms of being conservative. And the gown had a long train for that time. And it was, I believe that's organdy. And now, they are going to leave us here and cut the wedding cake. Bobby Black, outfit number 29, contributing his last coat. He's one of Seville's true civilians, and this is from the late 1940s. And the pink with the insertion lace going all the way down was called a hot pink. That's when that phrase first came into being, hot pink. And it had a kick back, a slit in the back. And that's when the girls started wearing the half slips with the lace that went clear down from the kick pleat all the way to the bottom of their gown. So that the lace, wherever they walked, that lace was their petticoat. I still call them petticoats or slips. And they had that showing at the back of the kick pleat. Thank you very much. Ellen Neff is modeling an outfit, wedding dress is Helen's wedding dress. Ellen Neff is going to wear her wedding dress, and then holding the train is Jenna Hershey. No, she's not quite ready. I will be dressed in a minute. We have started out 1816 before we had clothespins, before we had dryers. These are the early clothespins. If you take away that curve in it, they were straight pieces of wood with the wire. Then they got real inventive and they put a curve so you didn't have to take them off the clothesline. But they didn't even have clotheslines in 1816 in Seville. They hung them out on bushes along fences. You knew who wore the long drawers and who didn't. They had the rings. They pounded them out with nails. Sometimes that was someone's wedding ring. That's all they could afford. When they wanted to get together and have a little bit of music, they could choose harp. Some of the fancy homes they had were made out of celluloid. And they closed up. It's belonged to my dad's dad. And that goes back to 3 generations. And this home, he carried a aboard ship when the USS, he was in the Marines. And after he got out of the Marines, got married, he had 5 children at that time. And when we were one of the first in our town to have television. It was a 7-inch screen. And when the news came over, the Japanese had bombed Pearl Harbor, my dad, that was his ship, the USS Arizona, and he went right out to the recruiting office and tried to rejoin the Marines. And the recruiter looked at him and said, well, he said, you've got 5 children. He said, I don't think they'll let you in. He said, I suggest that you are older, that you go join up the war work. So that's how one of our past generations did. This is the wedding year of Dick and Helen Nett. This is a 1951 wedding. Helen, what is it? And we remarked when the little girl, Jenna Hershey, came into the dressing room this afternoon, that her dress, which is a modern dress today, you see the way the finish on the wedding dress is, and the finish that's on Jenna's dress, the same embroidered little polka dots. Turn around, Helen. She has what we call a coronet headdress, and her veil comes down from the back. Did your veil come down across the front too, Helen? Okay. And she has what we call cap sleeves. That was something new. And the buttons down the front changed down the front instead of down the back. So that's an innovation for that period of time too. Very nice. Very nice. We got the train. That's his original wedding suit. Oh, that's beautiful. That's a double wedding suit. When we started out, we were taking notes right up till the last minute. Now this came in from the time I came out here to the time we got the room ready. That's a double-breasted suit. And the length of the sleeve, I want to put your arm out. The length of the sleeve, if you'll note, comes to that band right in the curve of his wrist. If you'll note the sleeves on the new suits nowadays, they're coming longer. They come down longer than they used to. Also, you'll find that padded in the Indian suits as they are now. They come out here and they look like they should be on the football field. But a double-breasted suit, that's very, very nice. Very nice. Okay, yes. You want to button that, okay? He has a plain on top with the lace overlay. Very beautiful dress. They didn't wear the petticoat under that. They wanted that accordingly, that's like that. Very nice. Okay, now, here we go. Cindy Naoma, and the contributor is Bonnie Kelly. She's wearing a dress that was donated by a Miss Kentucky of 1952. That dress is Irish linen. Now, how we acquired that dress is another story. But we did, and that's Miss Kentucky's dress, 1952. And that dress is pure Irish linen. Those buttons are a unique type that began to be used on the dresses as decoration. Where it used to be that they wore those little tiny things, covered buttons. Here we come out with these big showy ones. The men usually had those on their outfits. Now we got the women. The screw neckline. 33. Okay, now I'm not too sure. There's your Eva. Eva's coming out in what we call the Champagne Lady dress in 1960. You remember when Lawrence Welk came out and they danced with them, had all the petticoats? Well, that's the type of dress she wore. Sometimes she wore 4 or 5. The dresses stand almost straight out. And when they wore that dress with that cap sleeve, they always had a hat on when they went out in the afternoon. They did not go out in those type of dresses, usually, unless they had a hat, a bonnet of some kind. And it usually was magic. And their shoes began to take on the same color as the dress. And there's when the flats came back. And that came back in 1775. And now again, we're wearing all those flat ballerina shoes again. We dress up. Okay. 1965, wedding dress that is donated by Helen Angel. Who's the mom? Elizabeth Rock. I made a card out for you, but I can't find it. Okay. Now that is coming back again. Remember that little overskirt was on that frontier dress? The overskirt's on this wedding dress that come in 1950. All right. 65, 1965. So we came a long way, but the dress is a lot different than the underskirt because it's short. The frontier dress was long. Is that satin with an overlay of lace? Yeah, okay. And again, look at the points on the satin, on the lace. It seems to run pretty prevalent in dress-up clothes, that point on the bottom of the dresses. Very nice, very pretty. I just can't get over how the models contributed today. Our young people, we can be proud of them. Now, this dress is Pam Douglas. It's 1970. And this is a wedding dress. The United Methodist Church in Seville was the scene of the wedding of Pam Auxter to Larry Douglas. And Pam wore this gown, candlelight, haut de sol, featuring a high neckline, lace applique on the bodice and train, bishop sleeves. Now that's a new one again. This is the first time we've had mention of a different type of sleeve. Those are bishop sleeves with a fitted cuff. And a julienne cap held her full length veil. Okay, that's a beautiful outfit. That is gorgeous.
to you that Mike and Holly cut, and also to give you some punch and cool you off a little bit. I think we have punch or iced tea. Before we start the next part of our show, I'd like to thank some people for their contributions. All of the people that Kate said contributed to the style show. Kate Drogell, our commentator. Joe's Flower Shop did the flowers on the cake. Donna Roth did the cake. Seville Historical Society did a portion of our display, and you'll be able to view the display if you didn't get to before the show. After the show, you can look over there and see the different things that we have on display. All those who contributed personal items for our display, Joelle Kelly, our pianist, and our door prizes. We will be drawing names for the arrangement on top of the piano is from Bittersweet Farm, and we have 2 complimentary gown coupons for rentals from a tire company. Good for a year. And also the bride's dress that you see in the doorway over there is from the Seville dry cleaners. At this time, Eva Archer will have the next portion of our show, and will be serving your refreshments at your seat.
Hi there. We'll make this real quick, okay? I want to show you some of the items that I have in the shop for rent. The name of the shop is Tire for Hire on South Year 6402 Seville Road. And these are current fashions that I have in the store that I rent, okay? First we have Joanne. And this dress looks very vintage, but it's current, okay? 1990 styling. Got the hanky hemline. Notice the lace accent and the veil. She's ready for a second wedding.